You're watching Seattle Seahawks today. I am Tom Downey, and I am told you need to subscribe or else. And the or else directed at me, by the way, not you guys. I don't know what the or else is. In general, bad things happen here when I am told or else, and it doesn't happen. So help me out and help yourself out by getting free videos every single day on Seattle Seahawks today by subscribing right now. Tom Downey here on Seattle Seahawks today. Let's break down the rumors out there around Seattle, and there are some interesting ones in free agency. First up, Gil Brandt of NFL.com says that the Seahawks should reunite with Jadeveon Clowney. He put the Seahawks as the number one team fit for Clowney in free agency this year. Now, the time in Seattle for Clowney wasn't great. But pass rusher, as the team moves to a true 3-4 edge look, is a need for Seattle. I am troubled by this path because is it really the way you want to go? Clowney didn't do much in 2019 or 2020, 3 sacks combined in 19 games, but he has been able to bounce back to his 9-sack self in 2021 with the Browns and, of course, in 2018 back when he was with Houston. So I am open to this idea. I do worry a little bit about it. I mean, Clowney wasn't the guy I think the Seahawks thought he was going to be. Playing through injury is undoubtedly a factor in that, but the production wasn't elite. He was a good football player, but he's probably going to command, $10+ million a year on a multi-year deal at minimum. Do you want to pay that for somebody? Last time he was there at 3 sacks in Seattle. I'm not sure that you do. And you have to check this out too. Are those two sides okay with each other? Is the relationship in good standing? It took Clowney a while to sign in Tennessee, and I don't know how well things ended. I think it was better when they ended in Tennessee for Clowney, but look, he's bounced around a lot. Texans, Seahawks, Titans, Browns, all one stop if he doesn't resign or 1 year if he doesn't resign with the Browns this offseason. So you just got to make sure that the off-the-field stuff is in good shape for Clowney, and the relationship is in good shape in terms of being a fit with the organization. What do you guys think? Would you bring him back this offseason? Type in Y for yes or type in N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down to that pinned comment and type in Y for yes or N for no. Bit more discussion here. Now, Clowney in Houston did play plenty of 3-4 outside linebackers, so that scheme fit-wise is just fine. The only true 3-4 guy you have that can, in terms of drop back into coverage right now is probably Darrell Taylor. Rasheem Green's a bit more of your typical 4-3 end, so is Carlos Dunlap, Benson Mayowa a little bit too. So from having that type of need filled, Clowney does make sense. I do think there are better fits out there. I'd probably break the bank right now for Hassan Reddick in free agency, but I'm not immediately shutting down the idea of Clowney, but I do wonder if it's really the best fit for either party involved. Let's talk Stephon Gilmore now, as former Seahawk Richard Sherman says he thinks Gilmore is headed out west to either the Niners or the Seahawks. Gilmore has been linked to Seattle plenty in the past, the last times he was moved or linked to being moved. Now, he's going to be a free agent. And cornerback, as it's been for a while now, is a top-tier need for Seattle. Now, Gilmore's play has dipped, but he's still good. It's not like he's a bum or a stiff. He's still a good corner. Here's what Sherman said about Stephon Gilmore. Quote, "He's been fantastic over his entire career. I look forward to seeing what market he ends up with. I expect him to go West Coast, either Seattle or San Francisco, to scoop him up and for him to thrive." That's two teams that make sense. The needs are certainly there for a player that I will note hasn't played on the West Coast. That played at South Carolina, Buffalo, New England, and Carolina. Now, are you getting 2019, Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore? Yeah, I'm not so sure. His numbers dipped in 2020, and he was better in 2021 from an interception standpoint, but overall level of play, maybe not so much, but he would come in and give a very good outside cornerback option in Seattle. Could maybe do a 2 or 3 year deal. Give you a little bit extra time. Make Trey Brown your third corner on the outside. I don't want him as a 2, but if he's your 3 or 4 even, I think you're in great shape. Maybe you give Trey Brown some nickel reps or DJ Reed nickel reps, since I think both those guys can play that particular spot. So would you sign Stephon Gilmore? Type in S for you'd sign him or P for you'd pass, knowing it's probably going to be a bit expensive to bring him into the fold. That, by the way, does matter. The cost of Stephon Gilmore matters a lot. In a the dream world, I would love to pair DJ Reed and Stephon Gilmore together. Let Trey Brown be a backup, a nickel with Ugo Amadi. That duo at corner, that's fun, man. That's a dynamic, deadly cornerback duo if Reed's your 2 and Gilmore's your 1. Is it a bit unlikely? Possibly. Both guys could break the bank for you, but if you could at least bring in one of them, I'd feel pretty good about that particular move. Deal alert for you guys now. The Seahawks t-shirt combo is 25% off. You get the long sleeve one and the short sleeve one you see on screen. So go get it today. I'll put the link in the comment section and in the description, both early up in both of those. 25% off that combo pack when you use chatsports.com. When you go to chatsports.com/Seahawks combo. That deal is not going to be up forever. Typically, these go pretty quickly. They've got good supply this time around, so get one today. Chatsports.com/Seahawks combo. Let's focus on an internal move for Seattle. That is re-signing Duane Brown, the team's offensive tackle. The Seattle Times, Bob Condotta says that, quote, I think Seattle's plan is now to re-sign Duane Brown, which is apparently different than what they were going to do last year. Remember, Seattle, I argue correctly, did not extend Duane Brown. They did not guarantee him a bunch of new money. They added some injury insurance. They did not guarantee him a bunch of future money because he's aging. However, Brown did play the entire year, and it is tough to find players of his caliber. Is Duane Brown peak prime Duane Brown any longer? No, I don't believe that's the case at this stage, at this point in his career in Seattle. He allowed more sacks than usual, but he still graded out pretty well on Pro Football Focus. He had a nice amount of snaps played, 9.69. The pressures did go up, but finding competent play at left tackle is a must, and Duane Brown is still a very good football player. The question really is, how many more years is Duane Brown going to play? Because you want to time up the length of your deal with how many more years and how many more years he plays well. So give me a number in the comments section. Number of years Duane Brown will continue to play in the NFL. Now, Brown turns 37 before this season. So even though Andrew Whitworth played at a high level until he was 40, I'm not sure you want to bank on Duane Brown doing the exact same thing. So I would give Brown a short deal in terms of the actual amount of time he's under contract. If you want to add void years, fake years, bring the cap it down, I am all for that. 2 years, 28, 30, somewhere in that range might be a sweet spot for Duane Brown. Yeah, that's 15 per year. Welcome to the left tackle market. It is obscenely high. So I would consider that type of deal for Duane Brown. Would also buy you time to see if Stone Forsythe ends up being a piece for you, and the brevity of the deal wouldn't preclude you from drafting somebody early if you fell in love with a particular prospect in this year's NFL draft.